Holy fuck, the Sharky boys actually did it. They did the unthinkable and actually won the battle for the basement against the Edmonton Oilers. Watching this game for the last few minutes honestly felt like a playoff elimination game, with the crowd being super into it, and the announcers also understanding the gravity of this loss for the Oilers. The preseason Stanley Cup favorites are now tied with the Sharks for the worst record in the league, and we're more than an eighth of the season in, so this is starting to become a pretty scary sample size if you're an Oiler fan. I think it's Elliot Friedman who always talks about teams that are out of a playoff spot by more than 4 points by the start of November typically only have a 10 to 15% chance of making the playoffs. And don't look now, but the Oilers are a whopping 8 points out of a wildcard spot after this game. McDavid was held off the score sheet once again, and he only has 1 point in his last 4 games combined. This is Connor McFreaking-David, the same man who scored 150 points last season. I just can't wrap my head around it. But to be honest, I want to give the Sharks their props too. Everyone was clowning on them for starting the season 0-10-1, including me. But they've now rattled 2 wins in a row while only allowing 3 goals combined in those 2 games. And Mackenzie Blackwood has been the star of the show in both of those wins, stopping 38 out of 39 shots against the Flyers and then 39 shots out of 41 against the Oilers. That's 2 back-to-back stellar performances behind a pretty weak D-core, to say the least. I'm just happy for them. The fans deserve some excitement in what's probably going to be a pretty miserable season for the Sharks. But these kinds of games once in a while will keep some butts in seats at the very least. But to get back to the Oilers situation, to be honest, the way the cameras were panning over to Jay Woodcroft over and over again at the end of the game felt almost ominous to me. Honestly, I do wonder if a loss like this, where the Oilers were heavy favorites going into it, forces management to do something. A benching of a prominent player, a trade, a call-up, a coaching change, maybe even a GM change. But something just has to give at this point. My personal opinion, I don't think it should be Jay Woodcroft. Not yet. But I don't have another alternative either. I know there have been some rumors of the Oilers potentially getting some help on the back end, maybe even by trading for some guys on the Flames like Tanev or Hanifin. But that's all it is for now, a rumor. And I doubt Calgary would be foaming at the mouth to give their provincial rival any help, let alone a top 4 D-man. What do you guys think? What would you do if you were the GM of the Oilers, or even the owner? It's gotta be so frustrating going into the season with a fully healthy roster that's projected to be one of the best in the league, only for them to start off the way the Oilers have and be at the bottom of the league 12 games in. If I were a betting man, which I'm not thankfully, I would have bet a hell of a lot that the Oilers would make the playoffs at the very least before the start of the season. But now, I'm honestly starting to question how realistic that is. I know nothing is impossible. There have been teams that started way worse than this Oilers team and still made the playoffs. But something's going to have to change, and quickly. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and stick around by subscribing to the channel.